All right, what's going on, everybody? So, some big updates. I just want to make this video to walk through exactly what I've been doing to build this app. And some really cool things to start. Fable 5 is back. So, as you can read here, until July 7th, you can use up to 50% of your plan's weekly usage limit. Um, and then once you hit your limit, you can use usage credits. But after July 7th, it's going to be on the API or like the usage credits, which means that it's going to be way more expensive. So right now it's included in the plan. And so this is super hype and really good timing because I just finished like the majority of my app. So I basically want to do like a walkthrough of what I'm kind of doing to utilize Fable 5 for CPAcioli, which is the app that I've been creating. And so, yeah, I just really wanted to make this video. I'm super hyped. Fable 5's back for a week. After July 7th, like I said, it's on a credit usage plan, which is going to cost a lot of money. So I probably will just stick to Opus from there. So I want to take advantage of all that I can to utilize Fable 5 in regards to building my app. So my plan, this is all my notes that I've used since creating this app. It's a lot here. And if y'all aren't familiar, my app is called CPAcioli. And I created it mainly using Opus, Claude Design and Claude Code. But I don't know why it's taking so long to load. But yeah, so Fable 5 is back. And so I'm super hyped to kind of work out the kinks in my code while I have usage to this app. And so basically, um, my plan is to there it finally loaded. I don't know why it's taking so long. My plan is to basically feed what I'll show you in a second. I'll feed this document into Claude Code and use Fable 5 to analyze it and make more of my CPA exam questions based on this document. So AI CPA blueprint. So this is basically the question blueprint for 2026. And so I found this in here and it shows, how it's organized and stuff. But I want to take, I want to take this document and essentially feed this to Claude along with the website link. Oh, that's my website, by the way. Along with the website link, and you'll see in a second. But I basically want Fable 5 to read all this data so that the questions that I create from here on out um, are accurate to what the CPA exam is going to be for 2026. So I already kind of started a little prompt for it, but I'm want to do this better. But so basically, I'll copy this. Actually, I can edit it from here and then I will paste it into here. So I'll go ahead and do this. So essentially, I'm going to feed it the document along with a website link, a the AI CPA website link, and then based on this PDF document as well as the AI CPA website link I provided, make sure the CPA exam questions you have already created are properly classified/tagged. And I can copy a lot of this. This is blueprint. Yeah, that's okay. And like I said, I was about to put this in Opus model, which would be fine. But Fable 5 is going to be awesome, even though it's probably going to drain my credits, but that's okay because this is a really important. So I want to make sure that the current questions I have are properly classified, as well as the questions going forward. So I can even specify that. Make sure the questions I have already created are properly um, classified / tagged, as well as the new questions that are created from here on out. I've also created skills to create these. Basically, what a Claude skill is I create a bunch of questions, then I turn into a skill. A skill is something that's stored on Claude so that it'll basically be able to do a routine task more efficiently and more effectively because of the skill that's saved there. So I'll say something like, make sure this data is added to the appropriate skills you have created regarding CPA exam question creation. That sounds pretty good to me. So what I'll do now is I will copy this, make sure this is changed to Fable 5. I've heard the best is to do it on, yeah, you don't want to do it on that for Fable. That would be bad. You'd ruin all your credits. I'm going to go high for this, which is still risky. Or maybe I can go, I think this is a pretty important prompt, so I'm going to go high for this. And so I'm going to do this, and then I need to make sure that I provide this document here. Well, here, I might just do it from here then. And PDF is attached. Here is the AICPA website link I want you to analyze. And right here. Actually look through this whole results, and I'll just do this part. All right, and so like I said, we're using Fable 5 on high mode. This might drain my credits, but this is really important for creating CPA exam questions that are accurate to what is actually going to be on this CPA exam for 2026. And, if you didn't know, well, I'll submit this and kind of explain, but basically I'm trying to create an affordable CPA prep study tool, unlike the ones that are currently available. So let's see if this works, or it will work, but let's see what it does. And yeah, like I said, I just wanted to walk y'all through kind of what I've been doing. This is nothing new other than I'm using Fable 5. And I always keep a tab. This is a little tip. I keep a tab of my desktop version open here so that I can keep track of my credits. So this is probably going to use pretty fast because it's Fable 5. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is what I've been doing for the past month, creating this app. And I wouldn't use Fable 5 for a non complicated task, but because this is like a really important one, that's why I chose to use Fable 5, as well as I want to get all that I can out of it, before this hits 100% and, it's turns to the usage credits, because usage credits spend a lot of money. So I'm really hyped. This came out yesterday, and this is just me, how I'm doing it to kind of enhance this app. And let us see. I can X this out. And so there's going to be also one that I do after this, which basically, and I'll switch to it in a second, but um, I'm once again, while Fable 5 is essentially free for me, given that I use it within the limits, and I need to see how much credits it uses first. I'm going to get Fable 5 to do a deep audit of my entire code base so that it can get all the bugs and more efficiently create it, before before July 7th, because that's when it goes away. So I'm just trying to take full advantage of Fable 5 while I can, before it goes to the usage credits, and I'll be priced out at that point. It's not worth it. So I'm super excited that this came out. And while we are waiting, let's see. Yeah, okay, 20%. We'll see that goes up. I can kind of here's the landing page of my app, features, the reviews, pricing, frequently asked questions, and the contact section. There's a footer. And then basically what I'm trying to do is, there's the loading screen, which I really like. Here's the stats page. I'm going to enhance the stats. Actually, with Fable 5, that's going to be a great thing to do with Fable 5. So I'm going to create more useful stats to the user. But I really want this to be pretty simple overall. I think a lot of the current options out here are just overly complicated. So I really want to narrow in on what people actually use. One of my favorite quotes is like, simplicity is the highest form of sophistication. Like, if you can master simplicity, then people will like it more. And so that is all the questions I have for FAR so far. Here's all the questions that I have for audit, and so on and so forth. Let's see where this is at. So like I said, I wanted to edit the old questions to make sure it has the proper blueprint area, as well as the new questions going forward. So what that will change is it'll change this. So, and this is for audit. I want to do it on FAR, which it'll do it for all of them. But so for here is what it's going to change. So right now it has it in these blueprint areas, but I'm basically getting Fable 5, Claude Fable 5, to make sure that these are the actual blueprint areas that the AI CPA specifies, because that's who actually create the tests. So that's what I want to mirror the test, obviously. That's why this is created. So I'm just getting Fable 5, double check this, change anything if necessary, re-tag it, and then the new questions going forward will be like that. Here's what I mean by re-tagging it. So like, this is a statement of cash flows question, and I do the difficulty level as well. So I just want to make sure that this question is properly tagged like it would be on the CPA exam. So it uses credits fast, but also I'm trying to use, I can use 100% of this, which will be 50% of this for the week. And then after July 7th, I'm probably done with it because I'm priced out, but really cool stuff. And that's about all for now. So I will I will let y'all go, and I'll come back when the code is completed and show you basically the changes that it made. So this is literally like 2 minutes later, and this is why you got to be careful with Fable 5. So my usage credits are already halfway used for the 5 hour period, which is okay because this is very important. But I just kind of you to use this as like a learning lesson. Like, you can't use Fable 5 for everything. You're gonna hit limits so fast. I'm on the $20 a month plan, so I'm hitting limits super fast. If you're on the like max or whatever plans, the ultra plans or whatever it's called, then you get like 5 or 20 times more. But I'm on the $20 a month plan, which is usually pretty much perfect for me. If you're like a pro coder, then you can use the more expensive plans. It's probably worth it if you code all day. But just wanted to let you know like the power of Fable 5, how good it's going to be, but also how much credits it uses. And yeah, so it should be finishing up here. And I love how you can, see in the CLI what it's actually doing. So here's a checklist. So, okay, nice. So it's retagging all the questions slash sims to the official AICPA blueprint. And it'll do this going forward. So I'm so happy to get this in while Fable 5 is still available to me. Because this will be huge, and it's adding to the skills here. So it's going to be probably using those two skills. Those are the multiple choice questions, and those are the trial task-based simulations. And so really, this is really good to get done. And it's gonna, when it finishes, it's gonna give me a summary of what it's actually done, um, which is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna read that thoroughly, make sure I understand kind of what it's actually done. I think that's the biggest part. I honestly think that you really don't know how to code, don't need to know how to code it all to build an app these days. Like people say you do, you really don't. But I think it's good to kind of know what's happening in the background so that when you do need to make a change down the road, that you understand kind of the back end. And like I said, this might kill my credits, but if I have enough credits, or maybe I'll do it next session, I'm going to do a deep bug audit of my entire app I've created and just let Fable 5 go through. I don't want to change anything about the design because I kind of got it how I want it. I just want it to kind of audit the back end stuff, make sure there's no dangerous areas or anything that could be compromised. And I'm just going to do that while Fable 5 is still available for under the subscription plan. All right, we're back after around 20 minutes, and it's finally finished up. So I kind of want to go over what actually happened. So this is the summary, which I love when they give us this because I'm too lazy to read all the code sometimes. It's just a lot. So it did all the questions that exist, which those are the multiple choice questions I created so far, as well as the task-based simulations. And they're now tagged with the official AICPA blueprint areas for 2026, which is awesome. That's exactly what I wanted. So, and then it explains here how the retagging works, and the skills were rewritten for the questions, which is awesome. I'm still learning a lot about skills, but the more I look into them, the more it's just like so awesome and organized. And I'm really happy that I got Claude to create these, a while back, because it's just made the process a lot easier and more organized. And save the memory so everything will do the same in the future, which is awesome because I utilized Fable 5 while it's out. And it also showed this gap here. So that's, a great note. And so basically, you can see all these unedited things. That's the colorful stuff. So I'm just going to say commit and deploy. And then I will come back to the bar gap at a later time. Also, not that it matters for this, but I just kind of make sure to switch my model back, um, so that I don't burn credits for nothing. And then once that's completed, it'll give the new version of my app, and then I can go to view it. I can go to it's launched on Vercel, but I can just go in the web page and refresh it and view it. So I'll kind of go over the changes that it made and kind of why this is so important to the app, like from here on out. And while we're waiting, so these are the two new prompts that I'm going to do at a later time. Something to note real fast that I wanted to show you is that it used 74% of my 5 hour limit just with that one prompt, which is crazy, but I'm not mad about it because, it did a great job. But anyway, I have these two new prompts that I'm going to use for Fable later on. Basically, this one creates new skills or updates skills or creates automations for the app. And I don't want to involve the Claude API because that uses different usage credits. And then I basically summarized it here. And then this is an even simpler one that I want to run before July 7th that basically just says take a look at the code base and do a full code review, find any bugs, and then improve the code as necessary. So those are the two prompts that I definitely want to run before my limits on Fable run out. Because, like I said, when it goes to a credit-based system, I probably will be priced out. And this should be done soon. And it's going to push it, and then I will essentially refresh this page and then log in and we'll be good to go. So, yep, it looks like it did everything. But I want to give it a minute or so to make sure that it actually updates. And then I'll show kind of the topic changes and how my app will be organized going forward. So I'll just go to this, refresh just to make sure. And then this should be my new version. So just to see if it worked, basically you can see here, and it should have done it properly. I guess I should have logged the differences before the code was implemented, but this is pretty much what it changed. Okay, I see. So I'm going to have to add a drop down here for the subsections within the sections. And then I'll just edit that with Fable 5 and I'll come back and show you the updates. After Fable 5 did all this, it did it right, but I want sub areas of this now. And so I'm basically prompting Claude to create sub areas now. So when I click begin practice, see, I want the area, but then I also want the sub area as well as the rest of this. So this is kind of my prompt. So I'm here to do this for all areas and sub areas of all 6 CPA exam sections. And then I want, when answering the questions, include the section for the area number, not the name of the area, just the number, the sub area you have created, and then still the difficulty level, and then make sure the customize your deck topic section is updated appropriately. All right, cool. So I think that makes sense. Sadly, I've now used 81% of my data for the period. So I am going to compact this, which saves. So this basically saves on credits, um, which will compact some of this down, saves a bunch of credits. And then I've actually switched the model to Opus Medium because I want to make sure my task is completed before I run out of credits for the period, because this looks really nice and that's exactly what I prompted it to do. But I also want subsections so it's more descriptive, um, because right now, it's actually broader than it was, and I want it to be more specific. So I want it to include the area as well as the sub area, which it'll know what I mean, and then still the difficulty level, so that users can know exactly what type of question they're studying. Cool. So let's see if this is compacted. Okay. And now let's hope that Opus on Medium can do this and not run out of credits. And anyway, that's the prompt, and I will let y'all know how it does when I get back. Walt in the future here. So it did end up running into some credit usage limits. So I basically typed in a prompt that said continue where you left off, commit and deploy when everything is finished. So this is finishing the prompt. And once again, I just want to show y'all kind of what it does once it is completed. Yeah, it's just taking a little bit more time, but this should be added. So there should be subtopics of this now, as well as up here, so that it's just more detailed and that users can get a better idea of what type of question they're actually working with. And it's reset finally, but it's going pretty fast here. So I need to utilize my Fable 5 credits wisely, because it does burn through credits, that's for sure. So I will catch back up when this is finished and show you the results. Let's take a look. Claude finally finished the prompt that I continued from 5 hours ago. So let's take a first look at if it did well. So sign in and let's go to practice. Okay, awesome. So now it shows the areas as well as the sub areas. Cool. And now it should show up here, which it does. And so that looks good. So that is the update here, and it looks a lot better now. Thanks for tuning in.